It seems like there's a different mindset. I guess what I'm getting at. Sometimes, if you're a designer working with somebody, than if you're trying to sell them something. And I don't know that, do designers fall into that trying to sell you something aspect at some point or another?
Well, I'm sure that varies from store to store and person to person, but I think the key ingredient is the building of a relationship. So if you're asking questions and you're finding out how your customers' lives work and operate and what will fit their needs, you're really learning more about that person. And what I've observed is these are long-term relationships. These become friendships. So again, it's like I said before, they'll tell their friends or their family members, so that they'll bring in more sales as a result.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that a retail sales associate that's not a designer will also have a relationship, but I think that's another key factor in all this.
A special relationship.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a trend? Are more retailers taking this tack? Having a designer on staff. I mean, it doesn't really have to change the store in any way other than 2 or 3 or more staff members.
It appears to be the case, and I don't have any real clear numbers or figures to rely on or to refer to, but what I've observed is, as I've traveled from dealer to dealer in different parts of the country, is I'm seeing more of a focus on that. And they're asking for more information about the inspiration or the story or the research or the color trend. So I'm not sure what all is driving that, other than they're seeing that there is a return on that. There is a financial reward as a result of that. One thing that could be at play would be, starting in 2007, some of the different design groups, they might have had displaced employees, so they're searching elsewhere for employment. And so even interior designers as professionals, they've kind of reinvented the areas of expertise where they are working. So some of that could be a result of that. But it's a good thing. It's really become a very good thing.
And you work with these people in the field, so they know there's a place they can go to get their questions answered, I suppose.
And again, it's about relationships.
Interpreting a customer walks in the front door. They have some sort of idea as to what they want. I think, I don't know, it's my vision, never having sold a square inch of floor coverings in my life, that they're sort of nebulous and don't know exactly what it is they want, and don't know if they can translate their vision into floor coverings. Is that anywhere near what happens typically when a consumer walks in the front door? You said you ask questions and so on, and they may want one product, and that doesn't really fit with maybe what their wants and needs are, or what their situation at their house is. It just seems like there's a stretch to be able to find exactly the right product that customer should have.
That is probably one of the biggest keys to getting that sale closed. But generally, I think if you have an experienced sales associate or an experienced designer, they generally know their go-to products, their go-to collections that fit the needs of the majority of their customers. So that's what I have heard, and that's what I've seen. They have their go-to, whether it's the Anso color wall or the Caress collection, or if they're looking for pattern, they kind of have their go-to favorites.
Okay, so again, getting back to pattern goods and some higher end goods, it's been my observation that a lot of consumers don't ever see that, because maybe the salesperson or designer isn't comfortable with it, or I don't know why. Is that your vision? I mean, is that your observation, that a lot of this stuff never gets really shown to the customer?
Well, the customer might see it in an ad, or they might see it online, but when they go into the store, maybe the sales associate might not be as comfortable selling a pattern product, whereas a designer can explain, this is how a pattern will look in your space, and once you put your furniture on top of it, and it does make it a much more interesting space.
I'm glad. Do you think most consumers are looking for the latest colors when they come in, or they want to even know what they are?
I think so, and we hear about it again from our dealers, from their sales associates, and I just finished a pretty hefty travel schedule this summer. And the consumers are interested in color. They're interested in what it is about color that makes it a stylish color. Like, for example, English Royal Navy is Shaw Floor's color of the year. Why is that? So that's been the questions that we've been hit with, where they may be interested in navy blue, but they might want that neutral that works with navy blue, or they might have a great deal of hard surface in their home where they'll have a piece of carpet cut and bound. And that's where you see a lot of interest back in those more vibrant colors. And we're excited about that because it's a win-win situation for everybody, where they get color, they might get pattern, and so everybody's happy.
Well, it's interesting, and from watching some of these programs on television, these HGTV programs, it's almost like people don't like carpet anymore. They'll come into a home and it's got carpet on the floor, and oh, that's carpet,
Yeah.
which is a pretty terrible thing, especially when there's so many beautiful types of carpet around, which I guess most of them aren't aware there is such a thing, I suppose.
Yeah, that kind of hurts your feelings when you're in this industry and you know how beautiful carpet can be. But of course, being manufacturers of all of it, we're happy when a customer has a great mix of all of the different categories. But yes, on these shows where you see the TV personality advising them to pull up the carpet, you think, there's beautiful carpet that you can replace that with, and it's really just a matter of awareness, as you said earlier. If the consumer sees what a quality piece of carpet looks like and feels like, and how it looks in 8 or 10 years, and I think it's a game changer when they can see that.
Do you see that ever taking place, that carpet can work its way back? And there's certainly beautiful carpets, as I mentioned, out there. They could certainly do it, but I guess they need more exposure.
I do think it comes down to exposure, but I do also think that there is a pendulum shift back towards, and I know there are differing opinions about this, but the people that I am in tune with, I still take a design project per year. There is a renewed interest in bringing softness back in the home. While a homeowner may love to put in hardwood floors and feel like that is a great way and a great place for them to put their investment dollars, they also are understanding and seeing that the acoustics are vastly improved when they bring in carpet, and how comfortable it is just to sit on and play on the floor. So one of the comments that we've heard from one of our former design council members, she called and said, I had a client that just bought a house. They were so excited about their hardwood floors. They moved in the first week, and she called me and said, I miss my carpet. It's noisy in here. She loved the look and the aesthetic, but she missed that comfort and that quietness that carpet offered.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a great tagline.
One thing I've noticed too that I'd mentioned, I talked to a couple of retailers that have design operations. Each of them has a healthy business in custom-made rugs, which in essence are the carpet that you're talking about.
Yes.
It just doesn't go all the way to the wall.
Yeah, fabrication.
Yeah.
Yeah, that custom look, and again, it might boil down to what the look if you're choosing to work with the designer, you're going to get a little more of a unique look, a little bit more of a one-of-a-kind piece to put in your home. So I think that's one of the bigger trends that I've seen as designers are moving their way into this retail sales environment.
Well, that's certainly a good way to expose design carpet is in a rug, and I suppose, that's a heck of a way to sell some nice looking carpet.
It is a heck of a way to sell some nice looking carpet, and we love it. And what we've been doing for about 10 years now, at least at a minimum, is designing our carpet colors, our yarn systems that are long spaced to be designed that they can work with hard surface colors, so that they might complement it or coordinate with it. And we feel like that the consumer will eventually recognize that as, again, another solution to bringing softness into their home.